episode 345, the pandemic series with Michael Wardian.
Welcome to the Pursuit of the Perfect Race. I'm Coach Terry Wilson, and with each episode, I bring stories of athletes to you that share their experiences at races in order for you to learn how to have your perfect race. We will hear stories from athletes of all ages, abilities, and races of all distances. So regardless of where you fit in, there's something in there for you. Thanks for spending some time with me today. Now let the pursuit begin.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Pursuit of the Perfect Race. We are talking with Michael Wardian today about his recent race at the virtual backyard ultra type thing, and we're also going to be touching on motivation with the pandemic and the quarantine and lockdown and all that fun stuff. Michael, welcome to the show. I look forward to chatting with you. It's been fun playing with you in chess and meeting you in person.
Totally, man.
I'm a huge fan, so thank you for spending some time with me today.
Oh, no problem, man. I'm really honored to be on, and you are a fierce competitor. So I love battling you daily in chess, even during the race we're going to talk about. And yeah, I'm excited to be on.
Well, I appreciate your time. So we have to mention your epic win here at the virtual race that lasted 63 hours. I think at one time there was over 2,000 people around the world watching this race and supporting all these runners. It was truly amazing to see this. What was it like to actually run?
It was kind of a dream come true for me. It was one of the best efforts I've ever done. For me, it was the longest I'd ever run. It was the furthest I've ever run continuously without sleep. It was the closest I've ever run to home, which was nice to be close to the family and friends. So that was a really interesting part of it. But it really challenged me. It pushed me beyond anywhere I'd been in the past and allowed me to tap into, places I hadn't gone before. And I think that's kind of what you want when you go to an event or take part in an event is you want to see, where your limits are, where the boundaries may be. Excuse me. And then, if you can kind of excel or push them further out so that you can do more and hopefully continue to evolve.
Man. So when you say it pushed you beyond where you have ever been, you've been to some pretty amazing places in the world, but also in some pretty dark places mentally because you've done some epic races. I think you're most known for the World Tour marathons where I think you did the same year as Ryan Hall, right?
I've actually done the World Marathon Challenge twice. So I did it in 2017, running 7 marathons in 7 days on 7 continents in an average time of 2 hours, 45 minutes. And then I did it again in 2019, and I did the 7 marathons in 7 days on 7 continents, and then added 3 marathons at the end to make it a total of 10 marathons, which is funny because that's almost exactly the distance I ran this past weekend in the course of those 63 hours. So it's pretty funny, and I was able to set the 10-day world record and then, for marathons, and then to get this similar kind of distance over the course of, I guess, almost 3 days, I guess.
Yeah. Man. So, going into it, did you think you would win? Because there was some pretty tough competition out there.
Oh my gosh. The competition was super fierce, man. Yeah. I knew my friend Maggie Guterall was in the race. Courtney DeWalter was in the race.
Yeah. I just talked to him yesterday.
Yeah. They're badasses. And then there was Olivier who's also lives in Arlington here in Virginia, who's on the 24-hour world team. Harvey Lewis, Proctor that put the race on. Some of my other Caleb Nuff there was way more studs and just badasses than I expected. And I never really knew if I was going to win, but I knew that I was going to, stick around as long as I could. And I thought that I had the skill set to do well. I just didn't know what that meant. And I didn't know how long I could last, but I knew I had the ability to endure, I guess.
Yeah. So, for people that don't know what actually happened, it's a 4.1667 mile run every hour on the hour. You can have the remainder time for rest, using the bathroom, sleep, whatever. But on the hour, you have to go again for another run. And you did this 63 hours in a row. And, I mean, we have to talk about the time of the last lap for you. 31 minutes, 5 seconds. I think that was it. Something like that. Like,
yeah,
unbelievably fast.
Yeah, and I didn't know. I heard that that I was lucky enough to be pushed or assisted by a guy named Radek from the Czech Republic, and halfway through the lap, I heard that he hadn't started on time, which makes it seem as though he's not going to be able to continue the race, and so that kind of gave me the motivation to switch into a different gear. And I'd done that once before in the race, kind of when I was emotional with my wife when I was thinking about not continuing on, and it just felt good to kind of get back to running the paces I'm accustomed to. And it was I wanted to try to break 30 minutes, and I wasn't able to do that but because I dropped my phone like halfway through the run. That was the Strava, so I had to go back and pick it up. But that's just part of it,
man. So I mean, I have to be honest, before this whole thing with this race even started coming about, I feel like there was a lot of people, even around the world with this pandemic, that their motivation was pretty much in the trash can. I mean, because all these races around the world have been canceled or postponed. How was your motivation with training, and how has it been since then?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, a lot of my events got canceled for the spring. I was supposed to do the Catalina Island Marathon, and that's kind of when my first race got tabled for me, which was kind of the second weekend in March. And then I wasn't able to do like a race that I was going to for Ultra X in Sri Lanka, which I was really excited about. And then the Boston Marathon and London Marathon got canceled, and I know that Comrades is going to get canceled. I think they're just, I don't know, deciding later, but they haven't. Yeah, I think they're trying to see if they can make it work, which I appreciate, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be tough. So
flights for Comrades already.
I know it's going to be, but I hope that I'm sure that the airlines will be respectful that this is something that's beyond your control. But yeah, so I think that when all the races got canceled, it gave me an opportunity to kind of start chasing after some of the local dreams that I've had. So I switched to doing a lot of fastest known times. So I put up a fastest known time on like one of the famous hiking trails here called the Billy Goat Trail. It's about 9.4 miles. And then 2 days later ran 65 miles around DC on all the street names that are named after states. So like Arizona Avenue, Pennsylvania Avenue. And that was about 65 miles. And then the week after that, I tried to take down John Kelly's FKT on the 4-state challenge, which is on the Appalachian Trail. And he was too strong. I didn't get anywhere close to his time. But it was really awesome to, go after it. And then I don't know, the week after that, I decided to run a marathon around my neighborhood, like just on the same loop that I used for the quarantine backyard ultra. And I ran a 2:33 marathon, like around parked cars and an open course.
That's so funny.
So I've been busy, even though like there hasn't been anything official. Like I'm just making up stuff for me to do.
So your motivation is pretty high right now.
Oh man, it's extremely high. I feel like this is like, and it's unfortunate because like my big thing I wanted to do this year is run across the country, like from the Pacific Ocean to the Atlantic Ocean. And right now it seems like that's not going to be possible just because of, what's going on. And so, I'm going to do some other things until that opportunity arises, I hope.
Man. So one loop around that little block that you use, how long is one, or what's the length of one loop?
The block loop is approximately 0.44.
Okay.
So it's about 10 loops to get to the 4.2 miles.
Oh my gosh. I had no idea it was that small. I just saw like circles all the time.
Yeah, no. It's pretty small.
Man. So, looking forward, when do you actually feel like this race season will resume, or races will start picking back up and people will actually start racing again?
Well, I mean, people are racing. So there's a lot of people that are doing virtual races. Like I'm actually doing one for the Ultra X company this weekend. If anyone wants to join, it's 14.1 miles. So like 14.1 kilometers. So kind of an odd distance. So it's guaranteed PR, which is kind of cool. But like there's lots of things you can do, that aren't official races and that you can do safely by social distancing or just on your own. But I think I don't think we have a good idea, right? Like when the season's like, I think a lot of the races have, expectations that maybe by late summer, early fall, that things are going to be back to normal, or at least back to being able to have the events held, or maybe some kind of the event, like maybe some people on one day or some people on the other day or something to limit the amount of people that are together. But I don't know. I don't think anyone does.
Yeah. I mean, for people that don't know, the Comrades Marathon is in South Africa, and we're in America, and we have 400,000 cases in America now, and I'm almost wondering, could they just ban Americans from being there? Like, I personally wouldn't take offense to that because, like, it's just they're playing it safe. But, man, I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is for any of this, because this is something new that I think that it's going to be, people are going to be like, that live through it, they're going to be like pre-pandemic and then post-pandemic, because it's going to be a different way of life.
Yeah, I agree. Or at least it seems like it will be. Like, I've talked to some people like my parents who said there were things like this that they've lived through in the past. And so then, maybe it'll not be as, gloomy as we think.
Yeah. So, moving forward, I mean, what are you really looking forward to in life right now?
Oh man. Well, I think that the one thing that's been pretty awesome is, we've all been forced to engage with our family on a much deeper level, like, or at least our partners or the people that we're closest with. And I think we found, there's a lot of stuff that we might have thought we needed to do, or, was important to us. But I think right now is when we're having a really good opportunity to really, critique ourselves. And I know for myself, like the thing that I'm missing the most is traveling the world and meeting people and, kind of engaging the environment through kinetically, like adventure. Like I'm missing, that, but I'm trying to have it locally and, with the people around here. But like, I'm really missing that. And I know that I've always known that's been important to me, but it's just been crystallized during this time. And I think it's going to be pretty awesome. I think people are going to have a lot of direction, and a pretty good idea of what they want to do, when they have the opportunity and when they're allowed. And I think it's going to I know for me, it's going to make sure that I'm going to make sure that I take advantage of every opportunity, because you never know what's going to happen.
Right. Man. Well, I have to ask just a few interesting questions about this race that you just did. Nutrition wise, how did you want to use nutrition? I know you had plenty of goos in there. I saw your Hoka box that you lined up with hundreds of goos. I think it was hundreds. I could be exaggerating a little bit. Used a brand new pair of Hokas for it, and you got sunburned. You know, what were some logistical issues that you didn't think about that you ran into, and what did you use for nutrition? What was all this like?
Oh man, well, yeah. I mean, I think it's funny. I'm actually waiting for my wife to get. She took a funny picture of my aid station, and then she saw Maggie Guterell's aid station, and she jumped into action because mine was just like a Hoka box that I had put some goo products in, and I was just gonna run there and fill up like from the garden hose, and like it was super just, you know, minimal, and then she like got a neighborhood table set up, and like, yeah, obviously the famous cones became a thing, but like, you know, I think some of the things I didn't consider was, it was interesting. I brought, Hoka just came out with like a puffy coat that's supposedly just like a, like active wear. Like you're not really, it's not designed to run. And I ran in that thing like almost every night. Like I wasn't expecting to wear like a full on down jacket. But I did. I wasn't expecting to be as cold, at points. I was expecting to use more, socks than I did. My Gingies held up really well. Like I used, a liner and then a thicker like hiking sock, which is what everyone makes fun of me when they see, but it worked super well. So I knew that would work well. I just didn't know it would work well for like over 200 miles. Like I was super impressed with like how my feet held up. Like I was expecting maybe to have some issues, like especially when it got really hot here. We had like 70-degree temperatures, and then there was a little rain one night. But yeah, I think the biggest thing that I had trouble with at some points was like just managing the heat. But luckily, like I've had some Comprosport arm sleeves, and I would just stuff them with ice, and that really helped to.
I saw you put ice in your sleeves and then put the jacket on over it. Like I was really like mind boggled with this. Like you want to be cold, but then you want warmth. I don't understand this.
Yeah, it was actually weird, and I didn't understand why I was doing it myself. And that was actually kind of later in the race. It was crazy because, and I'm still like, I don't know about you, but when you work out like for like a very high level for many days, like when I was doing that mile yesterday, I felt like I was on fire. Like, and your body is just like become so efficient. Like you just continue to burn. You just continue to generate heat, but you're also like in a split second, you get like super cold. So like you got to like cool your body down, but at the same time you're cold. So it's like this weird, like paradox where you shouldn't, well then why would you want to put the ice on, right? Like why not just sit there? But like the ice cools you down so much faster, but then you get a chill, and you got to like, it's weird. You got to like manage it, because if you don't, you start to get hypothermic or you overheat, and both are bad. So it's kind of like,
this balance that you have to maintain.
Yeah. But it's also weird because it can flip really, really quickly.
Man. So,
but yeah, it's a weird thing. Like I was like, why am I doing that too? And then my jacket was all wet too. So that kind of sucked, but whatever.
And you didn't change shirts once, I don't think? You maintained the same shirt throughout?
No. I changed twice. And yeah, I didn't shower. Like some dudes were like taking like showers. Like I think Radek changed his shirt like every time or something. My wife's like, he must have like somebody doing laundry. Like I was like, where's my other singlet? And she's like, oh, and then she found it, and I was like, no, that one's, I don't think that one's the one. Anyhow, yeah, she, like, every time I was such a jerk. Like, every time she would have, like, and I think anyone who's crewed for anyone knows that you, like, have everything laid out, and you're like, I've got everything you could possibly need. And I'll be like, I need that, black sock with the, Injinji label on it that's in the back right of my dresser. And she's like, come on, man. Like, really? Like, that's what you want now? Like, or like, you never drink tea. I want a tea with like comb honey in it, but only stirred to the right, like, I was never like that, but like, I was basically like, people would go get like sushi, and I'd be like, I don't want sushi anymore, but
I think some pizzas though.
Oh my God. Yeah. I had like, Pupatella is one of our favorite, pizza places in the area. And so, my wife picked me up. I probably had 4 pizzas over the course of the 3 days. There were supposed to be 5, but Rosie, my dog, ate one, in the middle of the night. So I didn't get that one.
Man.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I think we just should go ahead and wrap up here. Being that this is your first time on the show, and I haven't got to talk to you first, or got to talk to you about an actual race, I have to ask you the common question that I ask everybody on their first time here, and that's, what's your definition, Michael, of a perfect race?
Actually, it's pretty top of mind right now, because I feel like the race that I had at the Quarantine Backyard Ultra was probably my perfect race. Like, I felt like I was challenged. I felt like I had to problem solve. I felt like I had to display endurance. I had to stay mentally strong and physically strong. I had to be able to manage my emotions at different points, both highs and lows. I feel like I had really incredible competition. I feel like that really is something that I'm looking for in a race. I want people that'll make me better. And I think to go beyond anywhere I've gone in the past, and to like experience, like I actually experienced like this moment where I was of just absolute clarity, where I was like, I can do this forever. Like, I literally can just keep doing this. And I don't know if it was Zen or what, but it was like, I don't want to do anything else. I'm completely content. I have everything I need, and I'm ready. And yeah, that was super awesome. And it was unfortunate that it ended.
Yeah. So it seems like you're about to get emotional with this answer.
Yeah, it totally was. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm still kind of raw, because I haven't really slept still since the race. But
you haven't slept since the race?
No. I slept 4 hours last night. Okay. So I'm at 4 hours and 45 minutes since last Saturday. So I think that's quite a run for me. And I was actually thinking, I was joking with my wife last night, like I was like being kind of like a petulant like toddler. I was like, I feel like I just want to stay up to see how long I can stay up, and until I just absolutely like collapse, which I just think would be so interesting. Like, what is your actual fit? Like, is it, one more day, or like, is it actually 7 days or 10 days, or, like, actually how long can you stay up if you had to stay up? But then, I actually have to, I have work that I have to do, and I don't want to make a mistake. And I feel like I'd get sloppy, so.
Yeah. Well, Michael, I really appreciate your time. Before we hop off here, how can people follow you?
Yeah, if anyone wants to follow me, I'm on a lot of the social media platforms and I am quite active. So I'm on Instagram as, the one that I feel like a lot of people resonate with. And I'm at Mike Wardian, and that's MikeWardian, like Delta Indian Alpha Nancy. And I'm the same at Twitter. And then Facebook is just Michael Wardian, and I have an athlete page there. I'm also on Strava. If people want to follow me there, if you want to, look at the goofy run around my block or whatever.
Well, Mike, I really appreciate your time today, and I look forward to playing you in chess some more.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Yeah.
Good luck with that King's Gambit.
Oh, man. Yeah, about that. You have a good day, okay?
All right, you too, man. Right. Later.
Thanks for tuning in today. I hope you were able to learn something from today's episode. If you enjoyed the show, please take a minute to leave a review on iTunes or share it with a friend. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. If you'd like to see pictures from this athlete's race, learn more about who I am, what I'm doing, or be on the show yourself to share your story, check out my website at CoachTerryWilson.com. Until next time, continue the pursuit.